Hi, this is Bobby Boyd, and you're listening to Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio.
Claire.
Yes, sir.
We're back at the two-track studios of Deco Entertainment once again.
Yes, we are.
I like it.
Yes, we do.
It is always a fantastic pleasure to be here. And I had a few things I wanted to talk about this evening before we get to our guests. But now I cannot, I got too much going on in my head for the life of me to remember what exactly it is. But if it comes to me,
You'll blurt it out.
I will probably blurt it out.
I remember.
Probably like 3 o'clock in the morning, but in a dream or something. But yes, hello, welcome to Rock On Radio. I am your host, Danny Coleman, and as I stated, we are coming to you from the Two Tracks studio of Deco Entertainment.
That's right. And it's Super Bowl Sunday.
And that's right, it is Super Bowl Sunday, which, oddly enough, is usually one of our higher-rated shows or higher-listened to shows.
I always remember Art would have the Super Bowl on in the background. He'd bring his TV in and he'd mute it. He'd be watching it.
He'd be watching a Super Bowl. Be like, Art, Art.
Hey,
Art, over here. Musician wants to play now. Oh, yeah, I got it. But, yeah.
I got my jersey on, though.
Really?
I do. Yes, it's New York Giants, but it's the away one. So it looks like I'm voting for the Chiefs because I'm wearing red.
The Chiefs don't need any help. They get enough of that.
Yeah. They do. They have plenty of help.
Rock On Radio is brought to you by O'Connor's American Bar and Grill of East Hampton, Mount Holly, New Jersey, the official caterers of Rock On Radio. Phoenix Art Supply and Framing, located on Route 611, otherwise known as Southeastern Road in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. For more than 40 years, Phoenix Art Supplies and Framing have been providing both of those in quantity and quality.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
The Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation, who, if you go to jsjbf.org and see what they've got themselves into, they help a lot of schools and communities, and they have an exchange program with a place called Clarksdale, Mississippi, which we will be discussing in detail further down the road, I believe. We've got some things cooked up with the Visit Clarksdale.
Yes, Mississippi.
Correct.
Tourist Bureau.
With the Visit Clarksdale Tourism Committee and our friends down there, Bubba.
Yeah.
And
Bubba and his friend Bubba.
I can't remember what the lady's name was, though. I met her at the Jazz and Blues Festival.
I remember.
Not this year, but it was this year. Was it this year? Last year.
No.
Last year. Because that's when we
year.
first started talking about
And Bubba was
our
there.
big announcement will be
Yes. Yes.
in another few weeks.
Yes.
But yes, correct. Sinister Footwear. Go to sinisterfw.com and you can check out all the crazy, wild socks that Tina has. And if you purchase any, make sure you use the promo code DCRSOCKS. You get 10% off of your order. That's Sinister Footwear at sinisterfw.com. Asbury Park Vibes. Doug and Diane, who we absolutely adore, have a quality setup over there for musicians. They got a great podcast. She's beginning to do some live shows from their
Great
Main
space.
Street location in Asbury Park. And if you want to, she has a staff of like 15 photographers that come and go under her, as well as Doug, and they also they do things for artists, entertainers, creators, headshots, bios for websites, press releases, so on and so forth. So AsburyParkVibes.com.
For all your promo needs.
That's right. New Jersey Stage. Go to NewJerseyStage.com and you can check out anything you need to know about arts and entertainment anywhere in the Garden State and a little bit beyond. So, again, NewJerseyStage.com, which is also where this show is airing on the Penguin Rocks. If you go to thepenguinrocks.com or NewJerseyStage.com and click on the tab that says Radio Shows, you will find all the fine radio shows that Gary keeps archived on the Penguin Rocks. There. Dee Dee's Lights. I had lunch with Dee Dee yesterday. We discussed lights.
Nice.
Us Chandlers do those sort of things. Yes, I will.
Chandlers and handlers?
Yes, correct. I will redefine myself as Chandler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
But yes, Dee Dee's Lights. Look her up on Instagram or Facebook, and you can find that there about all the quality candles that she creates for. And her business is growing rapidly.
Yeah, I believe it.
Which is a good thing.
Yes.
Right? I would
Always.
agree.
Yes.
Correct. Other than our newest venture.
Lillipies?
Oh, gosh. See, I was traumatized from last week. Lillipies of Princeton, located inside the Princeton Shopping Center at 301 North Harrison Street. You can go there and find many, many little pies, baked goods, sourdough bread, great, fantastic breakfast sandwiches, and more by going to Lillipies of Princeton inside the Princeton Shopping Center at 301 North Harrison Street. And I've mentioned Deco
Did you?
twice already
Okay,
during this
sorry.
conversation.
I missed
But
that.
Did I not start the show by saying we're coming to you from the fabulous two-track studios of Deco
yeah.
Entertainment?
So
I think
wasn't.
he may have.
I wasn't paying attention.
Okay. Just so I'm,
Okay.
because I've been like really harpooned over the last week or so. I'm just want to make sure I finally got something correct.
So, how did the chili contest go?
Well, that is our last sponsor. So last Sunday, well, our sponsor, our latest partnership, more than a sponsorship, actually, is with Tyndall Road Brewery. Now, I mentioned last week that they had the Stay Puffed Chocolate Marshmallow Stout
Right?
on tap. We've been partnered with them for 2 weeks. They went through 3 kegs,
Oh, my goodness. Woohoo!
which I'm not going to say that's due to our partnership, but I am going to say that she did tell me they got a lot of people coming in wanting to know what it was all about. Therefore, they tried it
Good.
more than once.
Oh, they liked it.
Right.
Good.
So she had their first ever chili contest last Sunday,
And.
and I took first place,
Yay!
actually. So
No
I was,
surprise.
I was happy about that.
Crock on chili.
She was hoping to get at least a half a dozen entrants and maybe 15, 20 people
Right?
at the place. She got 15 entrants or 14
Wow.
entrants,
Wow.
and the place was mobbed.
Yeah.
Like,
Good.
Like you couldn't get in the door.
Wow.
Mobbed.
That's great. Did they have music there, too, at the time?
She not the day of the contest, but she does from time to time.
Okay.
But anyway, Tyndall Road Brewery, they're located at 102 Farnsworth Avenue in Bordentown, New Jersey. And they she did manage to get a keg back from the Nottingham Tavern
Oh.
because they don't have the right taps to fit the keg.
Gotcha.
So she had to get that keg back. So now Bordentown had its chocolate walk over the weekend, and the
Oh, wow,
beer was for
perfect.
sale again. So I
Nice.
don't know how much is left, but
Right. Awesome.
yes.
And then you have to, in March is your new one? Will March be your new one?
Supposedly in March, yeah. We're discussing what March is. And we will see. And as soon as that happens, I will let you know.
Nice. Awesome.
So, how do they find out about us, Claire?
They go to dcror.com, which is the short link for Danny Coleman's rockonradio.com.
Facebook is Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio 2, the number 2. So it's facebook.com/Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio 2. And then the Instagram is at Rock On Radio. All one word, all capital letters. That just about does it.
Yep,
Right? So
that
we can get
sounds
to our
good.
guests. We got a phone call coming in tonight from Mark
Nice.
Margolis.
Yay.
Margolis, I don't know. Every time I never say it the same way twice.
Margolis.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Margolis.
If you recall, when we recorded the show from the Headliner several months ago,
Yeah.
he was one of the artists
Yes, he was.
who performed on it. But he's got a big show coming up at Jamie's House of Music. So our friend Greg Gaughan always reaches out to any of those guys and says, reach out to Danny Coleman, and he'll probably help you with publicity. So
Oh, good.
it's now my cross to bear. I have to help people with publicity. And I don't mind. You
You're
know,
good.
I don't mind. Yeah, because it's funny as we discovered, even as recently as on the way here, people have trouble handling the truth,
Yeah.
and you have recently accused me of being too honest. I remember when I was a 19-year-old kid working for the Wall Street Journal, one of the guys said to me, he goes, "You are brutally honest."
Yep.
And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "That's why I'm coming to you for an assessment." So, yeah, look, things happen. Things happen. And sometimes you have to sit back and just look and say, "Oh, well," and move on.
Yep.
You know, but tonight we have three fine
Yay.
gentlemen, or like that show, 2.5 Men. We have two fine gentlemen and a gentleman on the way here. We have
Chris Pinger.
Paul Mald.
Desmond.
All right.
Ooh, were you like Sting? You just go by one name,
That's
Desmond.
That's right.
Is that it?
Until he's 18.
That's
so it's
Desi the
good.
Kid.
There you go. And collectively, you are
Bamberdost.
Bamberdost. Interesting name. Let's just get started right from
Start
there. Paul, Paul, this is the second time Paul has been on this program. He informed me, and I
very
totally
cool.
forgot about. Actually, Chris informed me, but I totally forgot about the first time he had come on, because you had come on with Bobby Steele and
Bobby.
and
yeah.
the Undead, and now you're back.
Yeah.
Well, I'm flattered that you chose to come back.
Hey, man,
know.
I loved being on your show the first time.
Oh, well,
I'm
we
happy
like
to
that.
be back. We got offered to do Rogan the same day, Joe Rogan's show, but we were like, no, we're doing Danny Coleman.
I get
Yikes.
it. I get it. I get it. And I am very appreciative of that fact.
We love you, man.
You don't mind if I like snip that little bit out, do you, and send it along to Rogan?
Go for it.
I need to be noticed for something good for a change.
Put me on blast.
Yeah, right. So, all right, so let's go. Very interesting name, gentlemen.
So the name comes from when I was a little kid, I would just draw. And it was nothing. I was drawing just circles on a paper. And my mother would go, "What is that?" And I would look at her like she should know what I'm about to say. It's a Bamberdost. It's Bamberdost. And it's just the first word I ever made up when I was like a baby. And I just never, it has no meaning. I put the umlaut there because of Motorhead. You know, and that's it. That's that. It's just a crazy word.
Well,
It's like Jabberwocky.
And all the songs are the truth. You said, you know, you like the truth. I love the truth. Big fan of the truth. So I wrote a lot of stuff that's just singing my truths.
Nice.
I'll lie
Excellent.
to people every day in real life, but the songs are the truth.
Nice.
Yeah.
excellent. Excellent. And speaking of the truth, before we go any further, I want to thank Chris Covert
Oh,
Chris hooked us up with a whole bunch of brand new merch,
nice.
and I love it. We got Rock On Radio.
Shirts,
No,
koozies.
no shirts.
Oh, no shirts?
No, I didn't get
Oh.
any more shirts.
Okay, gotcha.
I have to order more, but
Gotcha.
when I'm not at that reorder point. We got wristbands. We got koozies. We've got keychains, shot glasses.
Ooh, nice. You just picked them up today, right?
Just picked them up today, yeah.
Nice.
Keychain, shot glasses, koozies.
Coasters.
Coasters, beer coaster. We got all kinds of
Fun.
new stuff. So you have to start and coming to the March happy hour. And,
That's what it'll be.
and you'll see some of that
Nice.
that new stuff. So I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Chris. I almost forgot to do so.
Nice.
So okay. So, well, all right. So let's go to the band's formation.
All right, so I was like done with music. Like I did the Undead, and that was fun. And I had my own band, and then I had enough. And there was a brewery that they would pay me. I would go play songs over there, my songs, cover songs, whatever. And basically, this guy rolls up one day with white pants on, and he's just watching me. And I think that's weird, and white pants in a brewery, like, 'cause, something's gonna spill. But nothing spilled on him. And he came up to me, a very engaging young man, my bass player, and said, "Hey, bro, you got the goods. We should start a band." And I came to find he's in a band called US Chaos. It was like a punk band in the 70s into the 80s. So we started the band. Basically, I wrote these songs because I met this girl that had a face tattoo. And in my late 30s, like, oh, it's like new experiences. I never really knew people with face tattoos before now. I was very inspired, so I wrote all these songs, and they were folk albums. Like, if you look at our stuff on Spotify, the first couple albums are just me and an acoustic guitar. But then we got the bass player, and then we punked it up. So now we're like a punk band playing folk music, and we went through a slew of drummers until we found this guy, Mr. Chris Pinger, who's basically like me and Jack, my bass player, both worked like very hard, and we never had a guy that was putting in as much work as we were, and now we're like chasing him to try and put in as much work as he is.
Awesome.
Yeah, like, and we started playing like almost a year ago.
Yeah, maybe I would say maybe 8 months, and it's an interesting. I saw them play live, and I liked. I bought their CD, and and just kind of watching them on Facebook, and then I saw that their drummer, that he was having issues. So I reached out to Paul, and I said, "Hey, if you need a drummer, I know your songs already." I said, I'll come. We can get along. We just got to set a few ground rules, make sure we're on the same page. And we were, and it's been great ever since. We've been playing along, and my rules are simple. I'm not a big fan of substance abuse. I have kids; you have to deal with that, you got to work hard. Because I was about to quit music as well. I was in bands. My last band was a 10-piece reggae band, and
Wow.
I got sick of always the guy doing all the work. And I'm older. I'm not a young man. I got a young man's heart and a young man's spirit. And if you see me play, you wouldn't believe I'm as old as I am. But the reality is, I needed to play with guys that put the same amount of work in. And these guys work super hard. Like, for what we're doing in this style of music, we all work. Everybody here puts in work.
Yeah, none of us can slouch as a 3-piece band. We all have to be on the ball.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have that fourth person, so I don't have to play guitar. I could just sing, hold the microphone.
But they have to work too.
Exactly. To bring it.
Right? You said something there, Chris, that and again, boy, I'm having trouble holding on to thoughts here all of a sudden this evening. You mentioned Oh, the 10-piece band. Who was that?
A band called Death in the Arena. We were around for about a year, and there was a lot of pretty big names. There were Chris McGill from Vision. We had Janos. He was in a band called Inspector 7 in their early years, and a few other people that were in some sort of bigger, hardcore and punk bands and ska and reggae bands. And it was kind of an all-star band. We were doing a third wave. We were in the third wave, but we were playing 1960s style, like traditional, off the boat Jamaican reggae and ska and rocksteady. And it was just such a good band. One of the best bands I may have ever been in. But that broke up when I had my baby, and my singer had his baby, and we couldn't practice, and it just eventually fell apart. And part of it is I couldn't do the work that I can now. My kids are older, so now I can actually put my work into it. And I believe in putting work in.
We also believe in putting the kids to work.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. Which is why Desmond is here.
Desmond's here, yeah.
And my
He
daughter
drove.
wanted to come too.
Now, so Desmond, I have a couple of questions I have to ask you because I'm required by law, I think, to ask you these questions. Number one, were you brought here against your will?
No.
Okay, that's
Blink
number one.
once for.
Number two, are you being held at any point hostage in this band to do all of their bidding against your will? No. Is that satisfactory?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good.
All right. Good.
He
We
does
can
an
continue.
amazing job. Him and my daughter, they take, if you go to our Instagrams and you see the videos and the pictures up there, they're doing all of that photography.
Wow, that's great.
Paul will edit it out, to and add different things into it, but the photography is being done by the kids, and it's amazing. My daughter's videos, I've had people ask me that they want my daughter to shoot their videos because they're so good. Now, she walks around the band.
She's
and
what, 7?
She's 10.
Oh, she's 10.
And she's taking pictures of the amplifiers traveling up the core to the face when he's singing the vocals.
Oh, she'll come right on stage, too. Like, she'll be right to... I have to look out for her to make sure, because if I turn, and she gets like, the greatest shots. She has video it's like no camera person that's my age would do that, because it's like, that's that childhood, like, wonderment of, like, I love it. It's like, it brings a dynamic to our videos that no one else has.
That's great.
And then also, when you get the other angle, you could see where that came from. She's on stage with us, like, half the time.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, they probably wouldn't. Nobody in that age, our age group, as you said, would do that anyway, because security probably would tackle them before they got up on stage.
Yeah.
Kids have a way of sneaking around things,
Yeah, and it's our way to get the kids interested in music and bring that next generation into the music scene. That unfortunately there's a lot of kids there. They'd rather be on their video games as opposed to putting bands together.
Right.
We've been lucky, though. I mean, with a lot of our shows lately this year, too, especially, the younger bands are out there. I feel like they're hitting it harder than I hit it 20 years ago when I was in my early 20s. Like, these kids today are at a different level. The School of Rock, really.
They're great.
Yeah, really elevated. Like, all the kid bands that we play with are, I would say, like, I don't want to follow them. I want to open for them and then just enjoy, professional, like, mastery level of shredding that I still cannot do.
Now, let me ask you a question along those lines. I'm not a fan of these shows on television, the American Idols and the X Factor or whatever the heck those. What the heck's the other
The
one?
Voice.
The Voice, right? I'm not a fan of those shows at all because I think it gives everybody this false hope that you're going to be the next big thing, so to speak, and enough musicians get that from their own fan base of friends and family for the most part. Oh, you're wonderful, even if the kid's
But
terrible.
why are
you
they?
know.
Why are they there?
Who?
The musicians. Like, that's the thing. Like, you're talking about the fame, right? Like,
Right.
the people. I see those people that are like chasing fame. And then I see other people that are just great musicians, great songwriters. It's like fame will come to them, but they're not doing this to be famous. I think they're doing it as expression, and it happens to be great. I feel
Who when you say they, let's make sure we're talking about the same people.
what was who were those guys we played with at the record store?
The Sideshow Mirrors or Classified?
Classified, yeah. Classified was like a band that I heard. And their music was not necessarily my thing that I would seek out. But I was blown away watching them. And they're like 20 years old, and they're somewhere between funk and reggae and rock and roll.
It's just a weird blend of styles.
And it just works. And it's awesome.
What
And
it's
it's a risk.
Where I was going with that is I'm not a fan of those shows.
Yeah.
And the School of Rock concept is great. Essentially, it's just glorified music lessons with a group,
Yeah.
which is not bad, which is really cool because you can. I bet you there have been a lot of bands formed from those School of Rock things. Hey, they take this one, they take that one. The kids talk to each other, they form their cliques, whatever, just like in the real world. Yeah.
Chemical X is one of those bands.
But
They're like a big punk band now.
Okay.
I don't know, but they were like School of Rock kids like 10 years ago.
and that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. But there's a big difference now. School of Rock Newtown, PA does a show at Havana in New Hope. They do their shows there. School of Rock in Hamilton Township, New Jersey, they have shows at their own facility because it's big enough.
Yeah.
Other places, there's a brewery in
Asbury Park.
no.
Well, Asbury Park has one too, I think, don't they?
There's a brewery in Ben Salem, Broken Goblet,
Gotcha.
Oh, never heard of
who they have Sunday shows with the School of Rock kids.
Yeah.
And I think it's fantastic. I do. I can't say a bad thing about that. But what I don't understand about the various schools of rock and things like that is, how does it translate overall when they step out of that little confine of friends and family who are telling them how great they are, and they get out into the real world? How many chemical X's are there?
Well,
That's my question.
okay. That's the thing too, that I think it kind of what you were saying about the School of Rock thing, the bubble. It's good for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me, I used to be jealous of the School of Rock kids because in my day, my mom was like, "Stop making so much noise."
Yeah.
It's like
I'm a drummer. I get it. You get it.
We're not. We're not doing this. Like you have to get like a job and go to college and enough with this. They were a little bit supportive, but not like, yeah, we're gonna send you to a school of rock. And I was always jealous of the School of Rock kids. Seeing them come out now, some of them, the ones that always wanted to do it and work, realize like what it eventually is. I talked to like a lot of the people that are now, they're like in their 20s, like early 20s, and they're like learning the ropes, and they're well adjusted for having done it too. Like, because I know other people. It's really anybody that gets into anything young, and you have people that nobody's gonna knock. A 12-year-old that's playing a song or whatever. They're gonna tell him that he's good. I'm sure somebody would. That's like some person that's like super honest. Maybe me would be like, dude, hit the practice for a couple more years. But
And
no,
there's something
most
to
of
be
the,
said for that.
but I think a lot of the time there's not a lot of like feedback like that. It's more like constructive than it would be like blunt, I guess to say. And that coming, even I never did School of Rock, but it's like when somebody when somebody's honest with you, when you have a bad night and somebody's honest with you, and it's you can't disagree with them, you can't be mad at them. They're right, whatever it was that I felt was bad, they felt it was bad too, and I have to take that and I have to learn from that. Sometimes the young people just get very upset, like just very emotional, and that I feel bad. It's like it's okay, like it happens. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just learn from it.
Right.
And I don't know, that's the real world. I mean, with anything, like growing up, coming out of
and that's
school, coming out of whatever.
That's my point. What are these School of Rock kids and these American Idols and so on?
What are
they
people
gonna
learning?
do with the real world?
That's the same thing, too. It's whatever you put into it, you get from it. Like college is the same. You could go to college and conceivably learn nothing if you just want to pass the classes and, answer the tests and write the papers. You could get through a college. Or you could take that opportunity to actually study whatever it is and really pass those classes. But in my experience, it was like 90% of it was like showing up. And I focused on like filmmaking and I focused on my classes and I learned. But there's other people I graduated with that they have the same degree as me and didn't do anything. I knew them for 4 years, 5 years. I was there 5 years because I had to work the whole time during college. But I don't know. I had a job the whole time. I came out of college. I got a job. I've had a job 20 years now. I was already in the real world in high school. I don't think a lot of people even going to college now like have a job sometimes. Like when I talk to them, like people live at home. I was out on my own at 20. It's a different world now.
Yeah.
Like I've become the back in my day guy, and I'm 39.
So true. It was a different world.
I don't mean to be knocking the young people, but
Now that's funny.
we left them with kind of a lousy world too. So
Well, what did growing up as a kid, what did you listen to? What was your, not necessarily your influences, but what did you listen to that generated an interest in music? Or
Metallica.
okay,
I heard Metallica, and I was like, I want to do whatever that is. As like, I was like in third grade, and another kid brought it to school for like show and tell. It was like, this is my brother's Metallica CD, and we put it on. I was like, yes, I'm all in. And the music I play sounds nothing like Metallica, but still to this day, Metallica drops an album. I'm like, I'm
you
getting
gotta buy it.
I'm
right?
gonna buy it. I'm gonna check
There
it out.
you go. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, for me, it was the first album that I owned was the Stray Cats. I mean, the guys were the coolest looking guys. They sounded great. And then, after that, I had a Clash album, Men at Work. I mean, I pretty much listened to everything. My father raised me on doo-wop, for that matter. So, I grew up on, the first album I owned was the Stray Cats. Like I was saying, to me, they were the coolest looking. They sounded great. They had the stand-up bass, the guys standing on top of the bass. For me, that sucked me right into music. I listened to doo-wop growing up. My father, gave me a nice dose of doo-wop, Beach Boys, the Beatles, all the classic rock stuff. I grew up on that. And then, the Clash, Men at Work. I kind of grew up in that early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. MTV first came on the air. In fact, I do recall seeing Video Kill the Radio Star on day one.
The Buggles.
Yep. So I watched all of that, and I've always been
Interested in music in general. Like even my collection today, I have everything from hip hop to jazz to swing. I mean, one of my biggest influences is swing music. In fact, Favorite Creature, if you listen to Favorite Creature, one of our songs, the toms in that is inspired by Sing Sing Sing, and the Gene Krupa version in particular. I love. Oh my gosh, that's my favorite song. That is the sound I always strive for. So I'm all over the map, but then discovered punk when I was awkward and, I was kind of shy, quiet, believe it or not, and punk brought me out of my shell. It gave me a voice. It spoke to everything I experienced growing up. isolation and loneliness and love and all that kind of stuff was in those lyrics, and that's what really why I still today play it at 51 years old.
Well, you mentioned Sing, Sing, Sing. When I was a senior in high school, I was in the high school marching and concert bands, and we had in the school marching band we did Sing, Sing, Sing. Okay, and there was the section where it was that tom solo, which they had 3 people come out with bass drums,
Oh, nice.
and they were the toms, and I got to step forward and play that solo on those 3
Oh, man. That must
big
have sounded killer.
marching bass drums, which, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no recording of it anywhere. Or back in 1981, there was 1980, I should say, there was none of that stuff unless there was somebody with a camera that was bigger than this room.
That big
pretty much,
camcorder,
yeah,
that
right?
thing was classic.
So how does this band come together then? I mean, where's your base of operations? Let's go there.
We are based in Rutherford, I guess. Or
Okay.
Nutley. I'm from Nutley, and we're basically around that area. We have our own recording studio. I actually inherited a recording studio. Unfortunately, my brother passed away over 10 years ago now.
Oh, geez.
So, and me and him had built a whole studio, and then he died, so I inherited the studio, and I am basically making music for me and him.
Aw.
Because he was the talented one too. He could shred and was the man. So we have our studio there, and I write the songs. I send it to these guys. They're either yay or they haven't named me yet. So that's cool. And we just hammer them out, and we tracked. We were on doing a one single per month, dropping them to Spotify, and that was cool. But then we had a bunch of songs that we had recorded. We would go in and track out 4 and release 1 or 2 over the next 2 months, and then go in and track out 4 more, and then release another 2. So then we had 8 recorded, and we just gradually had 13, 14 songs tracked out, and figured we'll do a single a month for a couple months, and that did pretty good. The first one was "Tell Me You're Safe," and he joined the band, and we basically started recording 3 weeks later, a month later. It wasn't that.
A month, I think it was about 60 days, maybe at the most.
Yeah, it was no time between it, and
even some of the songs we record now, you'll give it to me, and then that weekend I'm recording it sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, some of them come quick. Some of them we recorded, and then we recorded them again later after we jammed on them a lot more. But yeah, so now we have this album. It's our second album. Our first one came out last year about the same time, and that one was cool. I think this one's a lot better.
Okay.
I learned a lot in recording the first one, and I learned a lot in recording the second one, so the third one will maybe be even better than that.
What's the name of the album now?
Songs About Your Girlfriend.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
And girlfriend's in quotes, so
I see. Well, we got some time before we are expecting a phone call. So, you want to do so? You want us to do some? You want to do some music? You want to go live? You want to play
yeah,
something from
should I play a song?
What if
It's up to
that's
you.
up to you? We can go live.
Yeah,
we can go
both.
from a recording. Whatever you want to do.
Nah, I could play a song.
Okay.
This is a little number called Disappearing Act.
Oh, maybe we should save this towards the end. That way, if you disappear, we can.
Maybe we could play Irish Goodbye at the end.
That's right. There you go.
Ready?
Go for it.
600 mg down the hash. My mind races, my mouth laughs. Wondering what I should eat. Should I get gyros or sushi? Fill a notebook with cliches, blunt metaphors for foreplay, easiest chords to finger. I wish we had a better singer. Then I think about her disappearing act, crazy in the brain and in the sack. It never would have worked out. Crash that train of thought right here. Pass me a bowl. Tell me a story, bare your soul. Brought you a mix CD and flowers. I could eat a peach for hours.
Where'd you steal that line from, Paul?
I stole that line from Nicolas Cage. Can't lie, it always got me made. Didn't hurt to have my own apartment. We couldn't finish what we started. Then I think about her disappearing act, crazy in the brain and in the sack. It never would have worked out. Crash that train of thought right here. Now I'm at peace, chilling alone. Silence is golden. Now that I'm older, all love is lost. Oh, what a cost. You'll never get it, so just forget it. That goes out to Joyce.
There they are. Bamberdost here on Rock On Radio. Woo! Well, we have our he's a few minutes early, and that is good. We have our caller. Mark, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Danny.
Ah, beautiful. There you go. Hello, Mr. Mark Margulies here on Rock On Radio. What's happening, buddy?
Well, I'm getting ready for some very special gigs coming up. We play the blues with a jazz twist. I'm going to be playing February 16th at the Winter Blues Fest. That's at Poco's Restaurant in Doylestown.
Ooh.
There's going to be 4 bands. My band, Mark Margulies' band, will open the show. Then the Slidewinder band is playing, Little Red Rooster, and then the headliner, Steve Geiger, is going to be playing.
Oh, no kidding. Steve's the headliner? How about
Well, he's the last band, so
okay.
that makes him the headliner.
Exactly correct. And Paul Bodie is on the bill with you guys, another
Yes,
fantastic act. I've seen Little Red Rooster before, but I'm not familiar with any of the gentlemen in the band.
Kevin McCann is the leader of the Little Red Rooster. They've been playing the blues for a long time in the Philadelphia region. They had a record release not too long ago that won an award at the International Blues Challenge. It won an award for best original album. So that's February 16th. Then February 22nd, Mark Margulies' band will be at Jamie's House of Music in Lansdowne, and I know you're familiar with Jamie's.
I very much am. Yep. My man Greg over there that sets all that up.
Yep, Greg Gogan, and of course Jamie, who's the owner. It's a wonderful, wonderful venue for musicians. Great listening room. There's food and there's drinks.
That there is. I
important.
have been there before. It is. It's kind of like the Lizzie Rose music room. It's quite intimate. Jamie's House of Music.
Yes. Yes.
But
Yep,
it
that's
is,
a good comparison.
yeah, it's got great sound. And are you the only one on the bill on that show, or is there others
That
with
is
you?
correct. That's a Saturday evening, and it's a 8 o'clock to 10 p.m. show. We are the only one on the bill.
All right.
Correct.
Now, how do we get tickets for these events?
Well, the Poco's, the Winter Blues Fest, you can get tickets at the door. I don't believe there is an advanced tickets for that, but Jamie's, you have to go through their website. Just go to jamieshouseofmusic.com, and all the shows are there. And if I may mention, I don't know how far your radio show reaches. I guess it reaches around the world, but
Correct.
if I may mention one more special show that I'm really excited about. This is going to be March the 1st in Lewis, Delaware, and this is a new listening room. It's called the Room at Cedar Grove, and it's in Lewis, Delaware. I'm going to be there March 1st, and the cool thing, it's dinner with the show, and they have a great chef cooking special meals. And again, the tickets for that, you do purchase them online if you do a search, I guess, for the Room at Cedar Grove.
Fantastic.
And
Now,
that's all I got.
well, Mark, I am here with Chris and Paul and the artist known as Desmond.
Hi, Desmond.
And they together they form Bamberdost. Say hello to Mark.
Hey, what's up?
Mark Elise, guys.
How you doing?
Mark is a fine guitar player in his own right. He's got a great blues band that
Beautiful.
And he's gonna be in Lewis. My family live in Millsboro, not too far from Lewis. I have family down there.
well, there you go. Now you got to go visit your family and take in Mark's show on March 1st.
That would be awesome.
Get off the ferry, hop over and see him. I think we have a show that day, though, right? March 1st. Yeah, we have a show too. So. But I thought about it and then didn't realize it's the same day as our show.
Wow.
Well, it's good to be busy.
Yeah.
It is. It is. And you're very busy now. That's what, 3 shows in a span of several weeks for you guys. Plus, you do a solo or duo thing at some of the wineries from time to time also, don't you?
That's correct. That is correct. I was just at Hopewell Valley Vineyards in Pennington, New Jersey,
Yep, familiar with that too.
a week or so ago. Yeah, I do duo gigs and full band gigs, and we'll entertain the crowd wherever we go.
As you do very well.
Yep. My producer Claire is with me here as always, Mark.
Hi, Claire.
Hey, Mark, it was great seeing you at the headliner last time. So
At the
I
headliner.
Right.
enjoyed
That's
your
right.
music very much. Yeah,
Yeah.
How is that series still happening?
I think that was
At
a
the
one and done
headliner?
kind of thing. I think we were just doing a blues night, right?
No,
I mean,
are
but
you talking
the
about
Jersey Jams?
I'm
is
talking
always
about
on.
the original music night.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh,
still
yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
the Jersey
Paul
Jams.
Morzano
Yep,
still
they
has
run
that
that.
every Wednesday. Yep.
Yep.
Great,
Yep.
great.
Yeah, no, but we were doing the blues, so that's what we came into MC. So
He wanted to have a blues night, so that's how I got involved in that, and that was that. So, all right. So, Mark, how do we find out about you actually as an artist? Website. What?
Go to markmargolies.com. It's markmargolies.com. That's all you got to do.
There you go.
and I shared the events to our page, so hopefully that. Although you don't have a March 1st one out yet, do you? Do you have an event for the March 1st one yet? Mark?
Are you asking me? Yeah,
Yeah,
March
yes.
1st, we're at the Room at Cedar Grove.
Okay, I
Yes.
just didn't see it on your Facebook. I shared out the other ones, so I just wanted to be able to share the.
I mean,
get the
they're
word
all
out.
they're all on my website.
Okay, good.
Where
Oh, your website.
click-
Okay, I was on Facebook.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Well, I do put them on Facebook, but I try to promote, the current month.
Yeah, right. No, it makes sense. I'll keep an eye out
Yeah.
for the March 1st one too to share. That.
Yeah, there's an event link on Facebook
Okay. Good.
somewhere for that.
Okay. I will find it.
And the rest of the time, sometimes I pop up at these blues jams. I mean, very often, my good friend Mikey Jr. He runs a weekly jam at the Twisted Tail, and I'm often there. Wednesday nights, I might be helping out Sister Blue at her jam.
Oh, nice.
In fact, that's where I am right now. I stepped out
Okay.
to call in.
I did
So that
I did a recording session with her for a gentleman that went by the name of Trenton Blues, Ronnie Ungarini.
sure,
And
absolutely.
We
yes.
recorded two different versions of the classic, the Stephen Douglas thing, Hard
Yeah,
Times.
it's a shame that Trenton Blues Ron passed away. I didn't have a chance to record with him, although he did. He'd had plans to bring me into that, but unfortunately he passed.
Yeah, it was a really good session. You had Sister Blue, and there were two other female vocalists who I know who they are, but their names escape me right now. Myself on drums, J.B. Klein.
Sure.
The keyboard player from Paul Bodie's band, I believe.
Glenn Hale.
Yeah, he was there. Mikey Jr.'s father, who I've known since I was 18.
Okay.
There was a lot of quality players in that session. And
Yeah.
it was really good. I knew Ronnie, a.k.a. Trenton Blues, since I was an 18-year-old kid. We worked together for the Wall Street Journal years back. But all right, so what are those dates again, Mark?
February 16th. It's
So next week.
a week after the Super Bowl. That's the Winter Blues Fest at Poco's. 4 bands. My band is opening. And then February 22nd, Jamie's House of Music, the Mark Margley's band. And then March 1st, The Room at Cedar Grove in Lewis, Delaware.
All right, perfect. Perfect.
Good.
Thank you so much.
You sent me several tunes, of which producer Claire, or you sent me one tune, which producer Claire is about to pull up, I think. Or
I have it.
you have it,
Yes.
right?
Can't You See?
Can't You See, which is the title
Yep,
cut of your album, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
All right. Well, Mark, thank you so much, man.
All right. Thanks, Dan. We'll catch you on the road somewhere.
All right. Rock on, my friend.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Mark Margulies, and his album is called Can't You See. Here is the title cut, and then we'll come back with more Bamberdost.
My baby, she's got what I need. Oh, my baby, she's got what I need. She's the only one I love. Sandra is a girl for me. She's as sweet as she can be. Really knocks me out. Testify here on the corner, yelling all around the town. Can't you see? She's got what I need. She's the only one I love. Sandra is a girl for me. Crazy about the album. If I didn't have a love, I don't know how I'd get by. Without this woman's love, I'd much rather die. Can't you see? She's for me.
There we go. Mark Margolis Band
Nice.
here on Rock On Radio. Tonight, our guest is Bamberdost. We have Chris, Paul, and Desmond here. Desmond, you're not saying much, though, man. You're an artiste. You have to, like,
He speaks with his eyes.
he does.
It doesn't work on the radio.
He's got a musical coming up.
He's in a musical.
Whoa!
Oh, what musical?
What kind of musical?
Rock musical.
Okay.
What's it called?
Rock of Ages.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, very nice. It's cool.
His school does amazing productions. When they
Really?
do musicals, oh my gosh, it's like it's insane.
Now, Desmond, you're gonna. Well, this show has a friend and a gentleman that I am an acquaintance of, was the bass player in the band for Rock of Ages when it was on Broadway. He's now Joan Jett's bass player, Hal Seltzer. And the guitar player was a gentleman named Angus Clark, who I just spoke to a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me all about Rock of Ages. He has signed him and his partner Jimmy Coons. They have a band called Coons and Clark. They are signed here to Deco Entertainment. So,
Oh, awesome.
Whoa.
and Jimmy Coons was in Cactus with Carmine Appice.
Oh,
and,
Cactus. I've heard of Cactus before.
and he was in Savoy Brown with Kim Simmons, and so about that. So when does this musical take place there, Desmond?
The 13th of March, and it ends at the 15th of March.
It's a pressure time, man. Thing it's coming up quick.
Yeah.
What do you play?
What is your role in this musical?
Ensemble.
Oh, good. It's always good. We always need a good ensemble.
It's important, very important.
And an ensemble cast
This is his
of
first
thousands.
time in the role on stage. He usually does backstage.
Yeah, that's cool too.
Last time you did sound at your last musical, right?
Yeah. No, that was a play.
Now, I have to tell you, that's how I got started. I have an art degree. I've done theater, puppets, lights, sound, costumes, you name it.
It's never dull, though, right?
Never, ever. So now I'm doing sound at my daughter's school, and, so it's a lot of fun. So once you get started and you get bitten by that bug, I started as stage manager behind the scenes. So you're destined for big things.
And there you have it, Desmond.
Or at least little things.
Anything you would like to add to that?
Not really.
Who's the lead?
A friend of mine.
Friend of yours? So you're in tight with the star of the musical.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, because as one of the lessons in life that I learned that broke my heart, but also allowed me to get a different perspective on a lot of things, is truly it's not what you know, but who you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's true.
It is.
I mean,
unfortunate,
as
but true.
musicians, how many incredibly talented players do we see, and then that are never, they're not getting the recognition they deserve because they don't put themselves out there, or they don't know the right people, or
That's
There's so many.
Yeah, that's me, like, to a T, too. I'm not the guy that's going to try and go out and promote myself. Like, if you look at me, it's obvious I'm in a band. I dress like I find my clothes. And, it's, if you ask me, I'll tell you. But I'm not going to be the guy that's like, yo, check out my band on Saturday. We got a show. But, like, to have people around that are able to do that, our numbers are up. We're like moving the needle. A lot of streams, a lot of action, a lot of eyes on us. I look at the metrics. I look at the numbers now. Never did that for 20 years, so that's fun to see. We got played on the radio all over the world, and that's all because somebody believed in what I was doing.
He makes it easy. I mean, the lyrics.
Is his mic on?
Yeah,
he's on.
Oh,
he makes it easy. The lyrics, everything he writes. This album is an album that if I wasn't playing on, I would buy and listen to, and it would probably be in my desert island tent. The songs are just, in my opinion, some of the best songwriting I've gotten honor to play with, and be part of.
That's awesome. That's beautiful.
It really,
And every time I
is.
listen to the lyrics, I hear something new. Like the lyrics, you have to read them. The double and triple meanings behind the words and how he puts the words together, the wordplay, is so much fun.
Oh yeah.
And that's, to me, that's what sucked me in. You know, when I heard "Simple Life" was the first song
It was so
by them
yeah,
that I was
it was
listening
great.
to,
It was very, very great.
and
Catchy.
sucked me right in.
Well, who is the chief or primary lyricist?
Just me.
Just you?
I take suggestions if somebody has. Like,
As far as, and how about the music? Who writes the
yeah,
music?
no, I sit and write the music. I write a song like every day
Okay.
because
Life is a song.
yeah, pretty much. And I use everything. There's times when it's like, oh, I'm gonna go out and have a good time, and then my good time doesn't happen. Something goes down, whatever. Somebody gets in a car accident, cancel plans, no big deal. I use everything. If I'm sad, if I'm happy, if I'm angry, I try to capture it in some way, either lyrics or chords or both. I have an apartment full of pages. Just I could reach in my pocket probably and pull out just like lyrics that I write.
And you started writing at like 4 a.m. some days, don't you?
Yeah, no, I just get up.
He's up
Yeah,
early.
No, it's not a work.
Did you think of having maybe a notebook with you?
One of my best friends and like somebody who loves our band, Belladonna, gave me a notebook that I write in all the time, but I don't bring it with me because I will lose it.
Oh, that's true.
That's why I tear out. I have this old calendar from 2022 with dogs on it,
and the square.
and then
oh
on
my
the back
gosh,
I
that's
just
great.
write stuff like I don't know what's worse, the journey or the destination.
It's a little Steve Wrightish.
Not an uplifting day today with the pen and paper, but
Now, you said Belladonna. Are we talking about Joe?
no.
Oh,
This is
okay.
a beautiful woman named.
Ah, okay.
Who is a belladonna?
Belladonna.
She's been very supportive of
Yeah,
the band and
she's
him.
awesome for us. She just loves us, and like I don't know, the kids, Belladonna, and bass player's wife Joyce, they're like our focus group.
Oh, that's
Like
great.
it's kind of like
Your round table.
yeah, like see what they think. Like just play it in front of them. If they say something, just tell me what it is. If they say nothing, that's fine too. Just fill me in.
And we know it's a hit when my daughter sings along.
Oh,
Like,
that's
when,
great.
When her lips are moving and she's trying to figure out the lyrics, that's when you know we got a catchy song.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. I love it. I never thought, I was always the guy, too. Everybody always quit my band because they had kids. They would, it's like, oh, we're going to have a baby. And it's like, all right. And then,
See you in 20 years.
yeah, at least 7 or 8, And so to have, their young minds now that, they're into music. So to put something on and see if they, jive to it, it's like, that's awesome. That's a reaction I wouldn't have any.
Right.
I don't know a lot of kids.
They even sang backups on Simple Life.
Yeah, they sing backup vocals on
The
Simple
backups
Life
are on there,
and on
did?
These Boots Are Made for Walking.
which I don't
That
know
we
if you guys
covered.
have that.
I don't have the boots are made. Oh, I do have. I have it. Yep. I have both.
Yeah, we did These Boots Are Made for Walking, Nancy Sinatra.
Mm-hmm.
I like singing stuff by female artists.
Oh,
We had a
interesting.
Ronettes cover in there, too, for a while that we were, kicking around. Why Don't They Let Us Fall in Love? It's just, me screaming it like a maniac.
I could see the passion coming from you there with that,
Yeah.
I get it.
And he does a great job, and he writes pretty much all the songs, gives us the demos, and then he kind of lets us do our thing. I have a particular style of drumming, which amazingly he's pretty much spot on in my style. That's I think part of why we click so well, is everything he the things he likes is the things I love to do. Whether it's pauses and breaks in songs or playing with dynamics and speed and just all of those things. I've never had a band that wanted to do that. They always wanted me to play hard and loud. And we're loud and we're fast, but we also, we drop our volume, we bring it up. we do a lot of different things like that. And
Yeah,
so
Simple
we
Life
work
is
out
like
well.
reggae kind of in it. Like we try to like bring it down a little bit. Even some of the like songs about your girlfriend and there's another one, Irish Goodbye, are kind of like country in a weird way. Like when I
I
showed
Hope
it.
You're Not Dead's another one that's sort of got a
Yeah, like a
country-esque
weird,
sort of
like
feel.
Nancy Sinatra kind of like evil, like that. What's that one? Baby Shot Me Down. Like that's sort of like what Hope You're Not Dead is
Okay.
to me. Like I tried to write like a creepy Nancy Sinatra song.
Have you ever seen some of them old videos of Nancy Sinatra from the '60s?
Oh yeah, she's beautiful.
Well, that no doubt, but the videos are creepy.
Yeah.
The videos are a little odd, And,
Hey, but
okay.
that's like an art, like a new art in the '60s, a music video. Like that
Oh, yeah.
wasn't really like commonplace like it was, in the '80s and.
Correct.
Now we have to shoot a music video. I don't know what it's gonna be. Might be me getting a haircut.
Speaking, I got to do that soon too. All three that are left need to be cut. Before we get into some more music,
Okay.
would you like me to ask you a question that may require a little bit of length, or would you rather play the song and we'll discuss it when we'll have this question when you come back?
What song is it?
I don't know. What song would you like us to play?
Oh, I don't know. Ask me the question.
Okay, there you go. See, I like to give our guests options.
I like questions.
Being someone like you are at what I like to refer to as the cusp. I'm 61 years old. Okay.
Okay.
Wow, that didn't even draw a response from her.
I know how old you are.
Thought you would have said something like, "That's it." Yeah. But I'm 61 years old. Fortunately for me, the late 60s, early 70s, all through the 70s, there was still a lot of really fabulous music being produced. The 80s saw the shift to the hair metal bands and some alternative rock bands, or what they labeled as alternative, like the Cars and the Motels and
It's like
Depeche
power pop.
Mode
Yeah,
and,
we
you know,
call
those
power
kind of-
pop
right.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And then the '90s had the different stuff is still yet. So I always contend, and I just had this discussion with I don't know if it was Judy Collins or somebody before her, maybe, but I always contend that. Like I saw a meme today that said it's 2025 and I still listen to Led Zeppelin. Okay, now, and that's me, and it's not because I often sit back and I think, am I acting like my grandparents who, when I would go over there at the age of 6 and 7, were listening to Glenn Miller?
Yeah.
Who found, my mother was an Elvis Presley fan, which did not make my grandfather happy whatsoever. So you go there and you look back at certain things, and I think to myself, and I ask this question of guests every now and then when they come in, with today's music and the way things are written, it doesn't seem to have the staying power that that era did. Like you were in third grade, you heard Metallica, and you were like, "That's it." And Metallica still sounds as fresh today as it did when you were in third grade.
Yeah.
There's just not. I mean, now today you have stuff like Beyonce winning a Grammy Award for the best country album, and she's not even a country artist. It's everything is so just out of sync, it seems, in a lot of ways. So when you write music, do you ever think how it's going to stand up 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Or are you just looking at it like, it's my music, do with it what you will?
I'd like to think that it would hold up 10 or 20 years from now, but I also like to think it probably would have held up 10 or 20 years prior to. Like,
Okay.
if I could have been around then, I mean, I wouldn't have been writing about like a cell phone,
Right.
obviously, but like within the confines, if I could have done what I do now, I don't know that I would have had the influences, but I think that, I mean, I don't know. Ultimately, it was like the Beatles and like the Stones and stuff like that.
But see, though, Paul, right, and you're stuck. That's what I mean. You're kind of in the middle
Yeah.
because you remember all that stuff.
I love that stuff. That's the stuff that I really listen to. Like, we don't record to like with a click track or any of that stuff.
Excellent.
Like, we're
Excellent.
guys in a room playing music. It is like I record the drums first, the rhythm section first, and then do guitars and a little bit of overdubs and the vocals separately. In takes, but like it's all one take of the stuff. It's very rare we're making like a lot of edits or anything in what we're doing. And I just think that's like real music is like, that's what separates, I don't know, we're guys in a room or people in a room. It doesn't have to be guys. It could be whoever in a room making a ruckus, figuring out how to record it and how to make it sound good amongst themselves. And I think a lot of modern music, that's not even a factor. It's like 10 people write a pop song in a closet somewhere, and it's like 10 people write a chorus that repeats the same word 20 times over 4 chords. And then
you're not the first person to say that.
And somebody records. That's it.
Right.
I mean, it's simple. Like, if you're in it to express yourself, that's not something that would appeal to you to begin with. If somebody came to me like, oh, Moby came to me, I want to do an electronic record with you. I think I can make you the next big thing. It's not my thing.
Right.
I'm a songwriter. Like John Fogerty, to me is like, my favorite of like all time. Like, as like a guy with a guitar, that's not Metallica. Like as I got older, I'm like, oh, Creedence. That's where it's at. I don't know. I think in 20 years, maybe I would hold up to Creedence, God willing.
Even look at that, Creedence Clearwater.
Yeah.
From the 60s to they were only together for half a dozen years or whatever it was. And they, to this day, their stuff still played on the radio. So my whole point with that being was that, you're at an age where you remember that good stuff. You know what we're living through now. And what does the future hold? So when you write, what are you writing for? Are you writing for yourself? Or are you writing for?
Well, I write for therapy. Like,
okay,
a lot of my stuff is like just my intrusive thoughts or my truths or a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But it's ultimately like for myself, or to make one of my friends laugh, or to. Sometimes it's like somebody's having a bad day or something, and it's like I'll come up with something, just, it's just like to uplift, really. Like, I write mostly love songs. I try not to dwell in like a too evil of a place in terms of like what comes out of me anymore. I used to be in like a horror punk band, like it was all about, it's like nasty like horror movies and stuff like that. Like, I would rather write from my heart and try and make people feel or laugh than try and just be shocking. Like, that was fun, but this is more fun. I don't know. I definitely, sometimes I strike a nerve, and sometimes people like love it. Like, I get like nice emails from people that are like, oh, this song, what's this song about? Like, because that's the other thing too. I kind of write a lot of my stuff like vague. Tell me you're safe. Could be about whatever. It's somebody you don't hear from them, and you usually do. But that person could be anybody, and their problem could be any problem.
Yeah.
It could, and that's why I like it, because people hear it and they're like, wow, I feel like that's for me. And that's the ultimate goal, is just to like move people and get them to think or get them to feel.
And honestly, I think that's what will make it something that holds up. Is he's writing songs from his soul,
from my soul,
and things that you listen to it. You've been there. You've experienced those situations. Whether your girlfriend left and you're not sure where she's gone, or she's been missing for days, or your cousin's been depressed and you don't know what's going on, and he hasn't called you back. But all of his songs you can relate to in some way, and I think for a song to have that lasting power, it's got to be personal to universally personal, like for everybody. And the other thing I think that we do that, we don't use a lot of effects. There's very few effects on what he's doing. So we're not using the flavor of the day effects, which, I think, when you're using particular effects that they're using these days, that's going to date you, just like keyboards from the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, those songs are dated to the 80s. When you hear those keys, that came from the 80s. But we're playing, pretty much guitar straight into the amp. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You don't use a lot of effects.
No, not too much.
Well, I'll tell you what. Before we get into that, let's do some more music, because I'm thinking we're starting to get pretty good into the second hour, right?
Yep, 15 minutes.
Okay, so I want to get some more of your music out there, and we'll come back and pick up that discussion. But real quick, before we do, websites, social media, what's the best way to find you?
Oh, yeah, you could find us, Bamberdost. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We have a link tree that you could find, linktree/Bamberdost. LINKTR.ee, I think it is.
You'll find us on Spotify.
Find us on there.
Apple
Spotify,
Music.
Apple
Now,
Music.
Spotify is interesting because it doesn't look like you until you scroll through. It looks like you, but your picture, I actually thought it was the wrong band. I'm going, it's a made-up name. How could this be you? But
No, yeah,
you guys had that Godfather picture.
I went
or
downhill real fast in the last 2 years. People
No,
told me I
thought
aged 10 years.
No, I thought it was the other way around. You look way too young.
Oh, thank you.
I'm like, I look at the guy going, that doesn't look like you. He looks way too
I
old.
made that weird face in that picture, too.
Yeah, well, it was like, your hair is all scary and stuff. But anyway, it was funny. But I kept looking at it going, wait, is this them? Is this them? Is this them? Is this them? But you have the umlaut, too. So I was like, it has everything.
Yeah, it's a hand with an eye.
That's a great
What
thing.
song?
All right. Well, let's
What are we
get.
playing?
Which song would you like, or do you want to play live, or do you want us to do one from the?
No, I'll play one live.
Okay.
I'll do it. Tell Me You're Safe.
All right.
All right.
If you're just tuning in, we have Chris and we have Paul, and the artist known as Desmond with us today. Here they are, Bamberdost, right, Desmond?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Easy to
There you
get.
go.
We ready? Where'd you wander off to? Enraged, radio silent. Has the walls close in your wilding? Psyche left in tatters. Has the vision phrase to hide and count the ways I worry. Tell me you're safe. Let me know you're okay. Tell me you're fine. I wish you were happy. It's not as bad as you think. Live life or die trying. Wherever you go, there you are. Rebuild yourself or fight. I know it's not my fault, but I'm so sorry. Tell me you're safe. Let me know you're okay. Tell me you're fine. Wish you were happy. Someday when your inner child's old enough to drink, you'll look back on this laughing. Tell me you're safe. Let me know you're okay. Tell me you're fine. I wish you were happy. Tell me you're safe. Let me know you're okay. Tell me you're fine.
Bamberdost here on Rock On Radio. Fantastic. How often do you guys gig? I mean, how often do you play out?
Every couple. Oh, we have a lot booked. Last year, how many shows did we play? You did the list. It was like 9.
Since I started, we had 9.
9 shows
About
in the
every month.
about one a
About
month.
once a month.
Nice.
Okay.
And we I'm trying to get out of the clubs, the bars. I just feel it's fine. I like to do it once in a while, those shows. But we're doing a lot of porch fests. We're doing a lot of town festivals. We're doing a lot of stuff where we're just hitting people that would probably never walk into a rock and roll club.
Right.
And people love it. Like that's where I'll connect with people. I could play a rock and roll club. People will dig it. But the people out in like the world that are just not ever gonna go there love it way more.
The thing is, whereas we might be a, in quotes, punk band, our music's it's garage rock. It's not really the punk that people think. When people envision punk, it's not what we're doing. But we come from that scene. We've been in it. I've been playing punk since at least '91. And I know Paul has been playing, and Jack's, like he said, he was in U.S. Chaos, started in 1983. Played CBGBs, all of those.
No,
all
they
those
started
bands.
in 78.
78. Oh, that's even older than I thought.
79.
But yeah,
Whoa, hey.
But not as old as Tony.
but I think
I was in high school.
I was 10.
but, we seem to have an appeal to people that really haven't been exposed to really our music scene, and it's a big scene. There's a lot of punk bands out there in New Jersey. I mean, there's some great bands if people just come out and see them. But I'm kind of disillusioned with clubs and bars. I mean, the amount of work we have to do, all the promotion, we have to bring the people, and then the bars take the money.
Right.
And they never promote. They don't even put posters up. I've actually been charged by clubs for bottles of water after performing for free for them.
Wow.
And I've even had a club try to charge me admission back in after I put my drums in the car. So
Yeah, it's like a bad night, so they'll just try and get you for whatever they can.
it's like a Spinal Tap episode of Spinal Tap.
And
And
you
a
know
$6 water.
You know what's odd about that? We have stories like that surface on this show every now and then. Sometimes, more often than not, and then you don't hear about them for a while. But it's one of the reasons, and especially since, the whole COVID thing, and we've lost so many venues. Now you've got the same amount of bands or more vying for half the actual physical places to play, and you hear that. And you hear like these venues. I just had this discussion with somebody last week about how I go out to do a gig, and there have been gigs I've made good money, and there have been other gigs I've played where I've made, but the majority of the gigs that I do, it's the same money I made in 1981.
Yeah.
There was no cost of living increase. There was no, it was.
You're lucky if you can buy a beer at the bar or dinner.
Right. So like those porch fests and festivals and town picnics or whatever, they pay a lot better. Not to mention, at least there are people that are there because they want to hear music.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's ultimately, like, we're doing our record release March 22nd at
Okay.
Social Club Records. It's like a little record store in Rutherford, New Jersey. And it's just an awesome little spot. And we played in there January 4th. And I just loved it. It's like there's no stage. I'm eye level with the audience. We're all like kind of equal in there. They got awesome records. They were selling records all night. It was wall to wall people. It's not necessarily about the money to be made as much as it is like I made so many friends that night. Like I made probably like 15 people now that I like know in my life.
Well, that's how you spread the word about your music.
Absolutely. Like, and that to me is invaluable. Like just those kind of opportunities, and that's why I want to go back there and do the record release in March, because I just loved that vibe.
How many tracks are on the record?
13.
Okay.
Nice.
And these are all done in your studio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we tracked them all ourselves.
Excellent. So,
Is it-
DIY till I die.
Is it out on Spotify yet?
It'll be out on Spotify on Valentine's Day.
Ah, nice.
Although
Okay,
we have
good.
a copy for you.
I do have a
right
copy.
here.
on
Okay,
CD
good.
for you.
I'm just
Oh, beautiful.
I'm just searching for some of the things, and I'm like looking, and I figured it's going to be dropping sometime soon. So
and I heard you, before he left, I heard Bruce say to you, give him a call
Yeah.
and come on back and hang out.
Hell yeah.
I would strongly suggest that you do that.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got his card. I'll reach out to him tomorrow for sure.
Good.
I'm good with that. That's the part of the band that I love is that behind the scenes networking, meeting people like yourselves. You know, that I reach out. I'm not afraid to ask. You know, at this point, you know, what's the worst you're gonna say no?
If
I
you
really
don't ask,
do
the
enjoy
answer
it.
is always
Right.
no.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't
Yep.
take.
Yes,
That's
sir,
right.
Mr. Gretzky.
So
Yeah.
I,
right.
Michael Scott.
thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're a good team. You know, we all have roles that we kind of play, and that part is kind of what I do, and you know, more than the others. And then he does like the songwriting in that piece, and then Jack's like a sort of a genius marketer. Like he's really good with like, you know, selling all our merch. I mean, he's really on top of all that.
Oh, he brings, what do you call 'em, mannequins? He
puts the merch on it?
mannequins with like
got a
no
merch
heads, no
mannequin?
arms, and then he puts the shirts on the mannequins, and it's all around the tail. It's like a spectacle. We have a big backdrop.
That's so cool.
He's amazing with that, and
Great.
he basically does like our handles like a lot of that stuff, and he books shows too. He just did a very successful show. Props to Mad Jack.
He does it every
Mr.
year.
Gibson. He does it every year. It's called Cabin Fever, and they raised I think
$2,000, over
$2,000 for the food bank.
There was
Oh, that's great.
two charities. Usually they do vets too. No, did they do veterans this year? Last year was veterans.
Yeah, this year I think it was a food bank. I could be mistaken.
It was a
but they
food
made-
bank, and I think there's something else.
And they made $2,000. They sold out Tierney's in Montclair,
Oh, nice.
and
I've played there before.
yeah, that's a nice little spot.
Upstairs,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the upstairs.
It's a cool
Yeah,
little
it's
bar.
still there. That's one of the bars I'll still play, and I like that spot.
Trend Coffee House. I played on multiple occasions right there on Bloomfield Avenue. Some Italian joint that was down by the big monument across from the liquor store. I don't even know if it's still there, but
There was a
The
place
monument?
I played last year. It
Outside.
came back from the dead. The Mill Hill Basement.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
was
big
like
punk one.
gone, and then it came back.
It's
and then I
gone
think
again.
It's gone again now.
well, the Mill Hill Basement actually that was part of my UPS delivery route.
Oh, yeah?
those guys. But the Mill Hill Basement, they were still having shows, just not as many.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, and they kind of shut down for a couple of years, and then they came back. But the owner of the actual saloon up top got jammed up, and the entire building.
Oh, they had
shut
like
down.
redone everything downstairs too when I played there. It was like the first night, I think. Back. Oh, that sucks. I hate to hear that.
Yep. So
It's unfortunate. So many clubs and bars are gone now. It's amazing.
it really is because, and again, like I said, there is only so many clubs, but the amount of bands is still around.
Yeah.
I mean, the Montclair Porch Fest that's coming up, that's one that we're going to be playing on. They're anticipating over 300 bands on 90 porches. It's going to be huge.
Wow, that's crazy.
And Asbury, I believe, is the largest porch fest in Jersey. But I think Montclair, this will be Montclair's first year, and I think that's going to surpass Asbury Park.
Yeah,
It's going to be massive.
Yeah, it was almost. I don't think it was 300 last year. Well, it rained out last year too. The Asbury Park Porch Fest, it not rained out, but it had a lot of rain.
It was affected.
It was difficult. People under the porches were fine. It was the people standing outside that were a little.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
While we're talking gigs too, we're playing
ahead.
March 1st in Butler, New Jersey at Sanctuary.
Oh, nice.
It's like an arts collective of some sort, right?
Yeah,
It's
with this
Heard
band
of it
Mousetrap
it's really cool.
and 2 other
Isn't
bands.
it 1812 Sanctuary or is it just Sanctuary?
It's 1860.
Oh, 1860
I think it's
the 1860
Sanctuary.
I think it's just
Something.
called the Sanctuary. I could be wrong though. I
They
don't-
may have changed it now because it used to be.
the one that
that's different.
that he's talking about. The one that
Gotcha.
you're thinking of is in Ewing.
Oh,
on
that's
Scotch
right,
Road,
right. Yeah.
which isn't too far from where we're at.
I'm excited though for this place. It's all ages and like substance free, and it seems like a safe place for people to go have a good time.
Is Mousetrap a school of rock band?
Mousetrap's got to be a school of rock band. They're all
that
like
guitar
11
player rips.
years
He's
old.
like, what,
yeah.
12?
Yeah, they're all like kids.
It's pretty impressive. I've watched a few videos.
I hope we're opening for them.
Yeah, the one thing we really like to do is we like to support those younger bands, and as much as possible.
By playing before them.
Well, here I'll give you a quick, and then we'll get to some more music. I'll give you a quick School of Rock story. There's a friend of a friend who contacted me and said that their kid was involved in School of Rock, and asked if he, if there was any chance he could come on the radio show. And I said, sure. Does he have original music? Is it, maybe? And she's like, no, nothing recorded, nothing really original. And I said, well, I need 4 to 6 original songs. I said, however, if you would like to bring the director of the School of Rock on to promote what they do and to try and drive interest up in kids, then I'm all about it. Let's have him on. So she puts me in touch with the director, and I call him, and he's like, all right, great. Let me get some stuff together, and I'll get back to you. Well, I never hear back from him. So recently, I bumped into this person, and she says, I said to her, whatever happened with your kid's School of Rock? And she said, oh, we took him out of that one. Now he's in the one in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Now I know where they live, and that's like an hour ride from where they live, and he goes there like 3 or 4 days a week. And I said, well, what brought that all about? Did the school close? She goes, no, I just think he's, and this goes back to what we talked about at the beginning. I just think that they're not making use of his talent, so I take him out there where it's a much better talent pool. And I was like, okay. Now, I never heard the kid, so I don't know how good or bad he is. But he's like 16, 17 years old. He's not 17. He's 16 years old. Maybe even younger, maybe 15. But the point being that these guys, they get this false sense of, I am so spectacular, and then they're going to get out in the real world. And so you, Mr. Paul, they should be saying, wow, I'm glad that we opened for them guys.
You know something? What I noticed is that a lot of the kids are receptive. Like, I call them kids. They're like in their 20s. But like, they were around too 10 years ago when I was in the Undead and I was doing my band, and they kind of remember that too. Like a lot of the kids I talk to. But like, we like rap about like whatever, like what venues to play. Oh, you got burned here, or like, they're like learning the lessons. Like if somebody's like, hey, you want to headline this show, and can you backline the whole night?
The whole night for us.
And it's like
for free.
Nice. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, we're all learning this lesson here. Like I learned that like 20 years ago. And if somebody asks me, of course I'll let somebody use my guitar amp or whatever. But I like to think it's like you knew you had a show, right? Like, but I try to be like cool, but I don't know, man. Like I feel bad for the kids, but everybody has to learn those lessons. Like I could tell somebody something till I'm blue in the face, but until they actually deal with it, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that a lot of the younger guests who have come in here that have been on this show, and I've tried to imply my my years of jaded wisdom upon them, and they kind of look at me like, yeah, okay, like just nodding their head saying, and it starts before they even get here. Like, Chris, you were great, right? You guys knew exactly how to get here. I love the people that I try to tell them, look, you need to call me because the GPS will get you to the mailbox, but then I need to get you onto the property and where you're going so you don't make any wrong turns. Oh, yeah. All right, go ahead. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And they ain't writing it down. They're just kind of like, picking picking the dirt out of their fingernails. Yeah. Yep. Okay, I'll see you then. Then at like 6:10 when they're supposed to be here at 6:15, I'm getting a phone call. We're lost. Where are we at? And you don't want to listen because you think you know.
There's a lot of lessons for younger bands to learn. Getting off the stage, getting your drums off the stage quick, anything like that is something that they have to learn. I roadied when I was younger. I was taught. Get your drums off. Set them up quick. Don't delay. Get everything off. Get the show moving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to name drop, but there's been a few bands that I'm waiting for an hour for them to get their stuff off stage.
Right.
And then by then, everybody's already left the venue because they don't want to wait in silence.
Right.
And, these are lessons that these young guys, they can learn it, but, we got to be patient and hopefully somebody guides them, And if they ever ask me, I tell them. But they don't usually ask me, unfortunately.
There's a guy who does sound at Salty's, well, it used to be. It's not open anymore, but at Salty's Beach Bar. And he used to do it at the Stone Pony, and his name's Tommy. And Tommy did one of the greatest things I've ever seen a sound guy do in my life. I was emceeing an epilepsy benefit, and Stone Pony, 700-800 people, whatever the max was. I think it's 700. They were sold out, right? So I'm there early for the sound check. I'm only MC, but I got to make sure everything's going the way it's supposed to go, and so on and so forth. So this young band comes on. The oldest kid was like, I don't know what he was, 17 maybe, right? And they're playing, and they're way too loud. So Tommy says over the microphone into the monitors, okay, guys, I need you to turn down everything at your amplifiers. Let me do my job. Your amps are mic'd. I'll handle this. Guitar player gets up there. Same thing. Way too loud. Tommy comes on again, and he says, look, I need you to turn down that guitar at the amplifier. So the kid goes over and gives it the old Phantom turn down, right? Like, I don't know this guy, right? So at the end of their sound check, Tommy goes over to him and says, see this? And he turns the amp down to it was on 11. He turns it down to 8. He says, don't touch it. So I'm standing there. What do you think the first thing the kid does is?
Cranks it
Gets
up.
over there, goes over, cranks it up back to 11. During their set, and Tommy sees this is happening. During their set, he looked at the other guy and says, I'll be right back. And I watched this because I was standing from me to you guys away. He goes over to the side stage at Stone Pony, walks over, up on stage, pulls the kid's guitar plug out, takes his amp off stage, says, you're done. It was the greatest moment of my life because this arrogant SOB thought that he knew more. And I'm thinking, there you go. Lesson learned, right?
I used to be the sound guy with the reputation at Clash Bar in Clifton. I had a reputation for just screaming at people. But it's because if you walk into a place and you see a sound booth, don't put your amp in front of it.
Yeah.
Like it would literally be a pile of amps 8 feet high. And I would point at the amps and I would point at the booth and go, how am I supposed to get in there to mix the sound? Like, I don't know. Move your stuff! I would just scream at him.
I don't blame you.
I was like Sam Kinison. And I thought I was going to get fired. And I look over at my boss one day, and he's just belly laughing. Because it used to be his job.
Right.
And tending
So he
the
gets
bar
it.
and making the food. So it's like one less thing he has to deal with. So he loved it. But yeah, I was like that guy. They're like, oh, that's the sound guy you don't want. He's going to yell at you. It's like, not if you have common sense.
Exactly.
There's definitely nothing like a good sound man. I one of my first bands, and we're talking about 92, we played with practice amps, those little practice amps. But as long as they're mic'd up, coming through the sound system, it sounds
Coming
great.
through a 20,000-watt system, what's the difference, right?
You don't
What does it
need
matter?
you don't need a giant, 2 Marshall stacks and be on 11. I mean, if we're playing stadiums, sure. But you're playing a small venue. You don't need that. If you have a good sound guy, you're going to sound good if you follow, what
Yeah,
they're
if you
what
listen
they're
to
saying.
them.
Yeah, you got to listen to them.
People don't like to listen.
Exactly. Well, let's do some more music before time escapes or gets away from us
All
here.
right.
So,
Do live or?
Yeah, should I do it? I'll do one more.
anything you want, my friend.
Up and at 'em with no expectations, keep 'em low. Every lovely thing I witness, a pleasant surprise like your eyes and those lines that you stood from the lies you were told. Scars on your hands from the bridges you burned. All I need is this guitar, a pen, and a page. Chords overwhelmed, scream out all my rage. What I'm failing to articulate. Thanks for listening. Early bird gets the worm. Fly too close to the sun, catch a vibe or get burned. Bees are butterflies. Feel them as they flutter or fester as they die. All I need is this guitar, pen, and a page. Chords over woes, scream out all my rage. I'm leaving you the best of me. There's not much left of me, a husk that's withering, but I'm not wallowing like the giving tree. Cut me down, sit on my face. We'll occupy a carnal place. All I need is this guitar, a page, and a pen. Another faded memory I don't want to forget. I'll be ancient history, your unsolved mystery.
Bamberdost here on Rock On Radio.
That was unsolved mystery.
That was great.
Fantastic. How much time do we have left, Claire? What are we looking at here? Make sure I get everything properly.
17 minutes.
Oh, okay. Websites and everything again?
Yeah, at Bamberdost, Bamberdost. You look for the logo with the umlaut over the O, but none of the social media. You don't have to put the umlaut in. And
I struggle with that on a computer. I'm not even sure
I
how to
copy
do
and paste it from Wikipedia.
Well,
every
you
time.
do. You know how to do it.
I
on
know
your
how to do
phone.
it on my phone,
Yeah,
but
the
on my
phone,
computer,
yeah, but the computer, I can't figure
it's like
it out.
Alt plus some other key
Yeah,
code.
there is
and
something. Yeah.
Wingdings font. I don't know.
Yeah, the wingding.
Your firstborn.
Yeah. But no, just to reiterate to our gigs, we have March 1st, we are at Sanctuary in Butler. March 22nd, we were at Social Club Records in Rutherford, New Jersey. What's the Porch Fest? That was March. May. March.
It's May, I want to say May 26th.
May 26th. Is Montclair Porch Fest.
I'll look for it.
Okay.
And our album, Songs About Your Girlfriend, comes out on Valentine's Day Spotify and Bandcamp. We're on the Bandcamp.
Excellent.
I think on Bandcamp, I don't
May
even know.
17th.
May 17th, yeah. Montclair Porch Fest. 300 bands, 90 porches. Montclair Porch Fest.
Be there.
We don't know where we're going to be yet.
No.
We need to get a sign in the porch.
Wherever we go, there we are.
They should have maps out too. So right, you should
Yeah,
be
they
able
usually
to.
do maps, and
What
you'll
day?
know in advance.
They're going to need an atlas for that one.
I think they're planning on 4 bands per porch too, so it's gonna
Wow, like rotating for like 4 hours worth.
be, 4 hours worth. And then they're downtown. They're going to be a big. I think they're getting some bigger acts to perform downtown
Wow, that's cool.
at the end to celebrate it.
Nice.
It's going to be huge.
My former bandmate lives in Montclair.
And England.
Yeah, and England.
Nice.
Zara Phillips. So what's next for Bamberdost?
Music videos, probably. Lyric videos. We like doing those.
Okay.
Where we just put the lyrics on the screen over, one of them we used old video footage of like his family from the beach and his parents' wedding.
It was my great uncle's film from Seaside Heights back in the 40s.
Whoa.
And it's crazy if you go look at it.
Favorite creature.
There's nothing there. There's
Wow.
there's just sand and road and what the people were wearing on the beach is fascinating.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's great.
So
favorite creature. If you search for favorite creature on YouTube,
Yeah.
you'll see that video.
a lot more stuff like that. I like doing video. Writing more songs. I got like 10 more songs written that we have to just start playing, I guess.
Nice.
I don't know. I was thinking too, maybe the 2 album in a year thing like Kiss did.
Uh-oh.
Remember that back in the day when they dropped like 2 albums or 3 albums in 2 years or whatever? It was.
Yeah.
They had an output like crazy. Those first 5, I feel like, came out in a 3-year period. So
they-
who's to say?
Well, there's something else back, quote unquote, like we were saying, back in the day. Bands did nothing. I mean, look, Led Zeppelin put out Led Zeppelin 1 in 1968 and recorded Zeppelin 2 while they were on tour and put it out in 1969. It wasn't even a year between albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
They-
the
and they
magic
didn't do
of
it on computers.
Yeah, they
Right.
were playing that in a room over and over and over and over again until they felt like they, like that's the magic of it. Like bands today don't do that at all.
No.
And that's depressing.
Nope. You talked about Creedence Clearwater and John Fogerty earlier, and I saw John Fogerty. And Claire, this is what's funny. I saw a video clip of John Fogerty. I can't remember who it was. It was one of the late night hosts. Asked him about what Woodstock was like, and he told the story, the exact same story that Cosmo told me, and it was kind of funny to see that all line up that way, how they were supposed to follow the Grateful Dead, and the Grateful Dead was supposed to play from like 9 to or 7 to 9. They didn't play. They played like from 7 to midnight, and then they didn't get on till like 2 in the morning, and it was a huge thing. But those type of situations, not only do they make for great stories, but they showed you just the testament to which these bands went, because they did all have a live sound back then. They all went in a room and recorded together, and then they just got rid of the vocal and maybe 1 or 2 of the rhythm tracks, but they had the bass and drums and a rhythm track down, and then they just built from there. So how did you guys record this? What
I dropped one mic into the middle of the room like the Sonics.
Nice.
We all just stood far enough away from it. No, we tracked up the drums, like close mic'd and rooms and whatever, and tracked out like a basic track of guitar and drums and some guide vocals, and then just recorded the rest of it, mic'd up the amp, all that stuff, and
Nice.
popped it in there.
Who's your favorite guitar player?
Johnny Thunders from the New York Dolls.
Really?
Yeah,
Why is that?
because he's not very good, and I'm not. Like compared to like, compared to like Jimmy Page, like, Jimi Hendrix.
He gives you hope that you could play just.
Yeah, like I listen to like a crazy, like a lot of Heartbreakers, like live shows, and I can listen back to ours, and even if we have a bad night, it's like, well, it wasn't as bad as the Heartbreakers,
But I think that's what the Ramones brought to the
Yeah.
table was you
John-
heard them and you said I can do that too.
I was gonna say Johnny Ramone is my favorite guitar player, or I was gonna be a brown noser and say Bobby Steele from the Undead.
I hope Bobby
Steele.
listens to this.
Bobby Steele taught me how to play guitar. Full credit to him. Like, honestly.
You're not giving him a ringing endorsement.
Well, no, I don't want to come across like. Listen, I'm no
Bobby,
Eddie.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm no Eddie Van Halen. Okay, that's what I tell everybody. I'm no Eddie Van Halen. But no, he showed me. I knew like power chords or whatever, but he taught me like the Chuck Berry, like that
Right.
kind of stuff. Which I never took a lesson. I just had a guitar and I just started playing. So I was grateful that I was lucky with him, and that's cool to be able to, like, the Misfits were like one of my favorite bands as a kid, and to
Right.
be able to learn guitar from him was pretty wild. I don't know. There's something to be said for that.
Excellent. Have you talked to Bobby? Do you still talk to Bobby? Or?
Yeah, shoot messages back and forth or whatever.
Okay. I haven't seen him since the last time you guys were on this program.
Yeah, it's all love. I love those guys.
He's
Proud
a
of them.
Great
They're
man.
they're back.
He comes in looking like
Younger than me.
right. But he comes in and you think, oh man, these hardcore guys, they're going to be tough, right? And he's like the sweetest man on the planet. And his wife was just beautiful. I mean, she was so nice.
Yeah, they're the best, man. They're salt of the earth. I don't know. I think I'm the most blessed I've ever been now with what we have with Jack, with Chris. We got this awesome thing going on. It's like a synergy, and that's really what it's all about.
What's it about for you, Chris?
What's the question?
My
favorite
what's
drummer?
it all about for you? And who's your favorite drummer?
Favorite drummer? I always say Keith Moon.
Okay.
I just love the way he plays. Everything's different. It's never the same, and he's just a monster. Like I just wish I got to see him perform live. I always say I won't pay more than $20 to see a band perform. I would pay $200 to see the Who with Keith Moon. It's always that's my favorite. As far as, like, music wise, for me, I always say this is the best gift my parents ever gave me. Letting me bring a drum into the house. I started on clarinet for about a week.
Oh, that's painful.
And I
for
refused
those in the house.
I refused to bring that clarinet back. And my parents said, well, we want you to play something. I said, well, I want to play drums. And they caved. And then my mom bought me a snare drum, which I still have to this day, and I still use it from time to time. And this is actually the first album I did not record something with my mom's snare. And I meant to do that, but my snare is I need to repair it. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to. But I always try to record with that snare at least once on one song, every album I play. But for me, it's just it's communication. I can go anywhere in the world, and I can sit behind a drum kit, and I can't speak French or Chinese, but I can start playing drums, and people around can pick up instruments, and we can play together, and we can make people cry or make people laugh just through song. And to me, that's the most incredible piece of music, and what I like to bring to it, which is why I bring my kids and expose them to it, because I don't know. I feel like we're losing a lot of arts, and I'm trying not to get political, but we're losing the arts. And I feel with the arts, without that, some thinking, the way people think and the way people express emotion, it sort of takes damage. It takes a hit.
Stifled, yeah.
And I feel like it needs to just be continued into schools and exposing all the kids to the arts.
Well, you do literally. Tip O'Neill used to say all politics are local.
Yeah.
And they're the locals that have taken the arts out of school. God forbid they should cut a sport.
Yep.
They'll put men's and ladies co-ed badminton ahead of the school band or the or graphic arts department
Right.
as before they'll do that, and that's the school boards. That's the local school boards, and they've been doing that since I was a kid, way back in the dark ages.
Do they actually have?
Schools that have 4 walls and not a teepee or log cabin, yes. And,
But you're absolutely right, and it's unfortunate.
And unfortunately, but that's not. I don't think that's so much the case today. I think today the problem exists, right here. A cell phone.
Yeah.
A cell phone is the problem because
There's no
he hasn't
dedication.
put this down since he came in here. And
He's-
I'm not doing
he's
that.
doing hard work for us.
And I'm not doing that to malign you or put you down
We
in
all
any way,
do it, too.
Desmond.
I mean, we're
but,
all-
Yeah, and he's not alone.
Yeah.
There are, even Judy Collins said that to me the other day, that, nobody, she has a policy at her concerts when people, now she's 85 years old. She said, it is the one time I want you to leave your phone either in the car, if you have it with you, and you take it out, you will be asked to leave. And if you sneak it, then you should feel guilty.
Yeah.
She said, I'm no better. I'm on my phone a lot. I look at things. I do things. So on and so forth. But the people today, like I was 11 when I started playing the drums. I was a lot younger than that when I got into music.
Yeah.
Today, there's so much other stuff that's in the way of the arts.
Yeah.
There's sports, there's video games, there's the internet, there's cell phones, there's all kinds of drama that prevents kids from taking an interest
Yeah.
in that. And we got time. You got a song that's
You
under
wanna do-
4 minutes. We got
Yeah.
time for one more.
All
or-
of them.
Yeah, they all are 2 minutes or less.
They're all 2 minutes long. I'm
All
really
right.
good at writing a 2 minute and 30 seconds song. This is called Welcome Back to You. Things are all messed up at the end of your rope. Expectation overload. Sometimes life gets rough, true colors shown. Blues from red flags, hearts of stone. When you reach out, I get weak in my knees. You're glowing and it's beautiful to see. Welcome back to you. I won't question why. Welcome back to you. Are you still with that guy? Welcome back to you. I completely understand. You don't need one, but I'd be yours. Whoops. Live to make you laugh. I'll make the time. Long to kiss your lips, bodies entwined. Reassurances, handwritten notes. Carpe diem, my MO. When you reach out, I get weak in my knees. You're glowing and it's beautiful to see. Welcome back to you. I won't question why. Welcome back to you. Are you still with that guy? Welcome back to you. I completely understand. You don't need one, but I'd be yours. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. These dead flowers put a grin on my face. You're the only soul I want in my space. Your eyes and smile struck a chord. Arpeggiated and adored. Welcome back to you. I won't question why. Welcome back to you. Are you still with that guy? Welcome back to you. I completely understand. You don't need one, but I'd be yours. You don't need one, but I'd be yours.
Bamberdost here on Rock on
guys.
Radio. Websites and everything again?
Bamberdost, Bamberdost. Just Google it, you'll find it. We're the only Bamberdost
Ever.
ever.
About having a made-up name.
Yeah, all my bands, I always made up the names, made up a word.
And what were some of those?
Well, it's a misspelling, Bad Hormones.
Typical punk.
You know, it's a little punk rock.
That's a punk rock name.
Yeah.
But no, it's. Thank you guys so much for having us, man.
Yeah, sure.
Man,
Thanks for
thank
coming.
you very much for making the trip
Well, we're happy
out
to do
here
it.
to the hinterlands.
And I just want to send out my love to the world and to the guys in my band and to our whole crew. Everybody out there listening, Jack, and Joyce, and Ann, and with the kids at
I'm gonna
home.
drop in
and
Finn as well. I mentioned May.
Finn
I
and
haven't mentioned
May.
Finn yet.
and we got to mention Guy, and we got to mention Jade, and I think that's
Got to mention Mary.
Mary
Beth.
Beth.
Well-
That's all the people.
The artist known as Desmond. Do you have anything you want to add here, my friend?
Not really.
No? Okay.
Man,
And there
a
you
few
have
words.
it. Well,
Man,
good
a
luck
few
on
words, yep.
good luck with the Rock of Ages there,
That's
Desmond.
right.
Thanks.
Break a leg.
Yeah.
Thanks.
If not yours, somebody else's. That'll be fantastic.
Appreciate you guys.
Producer Claire, I think next week we have next. I'm trying to remember.
I beat you to it.
Oh, good. Who's coming in?
Lasher.
Oh, that's right. Sharon Lasher is in. She's got a new Bonnie Raitt tribute
She got the hair and everything.
thing that she's got going on. So we look forward. I think she's bringing PK Levengood with her and a couple other.
Awesome.
Gary Olyar may be coming with her.
So cool.
So I'm not sure, but
Good.
we'll find out when she gets here.
That's right.
So, gentlemen, thank you so much, man. Best of luck
Yes.
with the record. And it's coming out on February 14th.
Valentine's Day, songs about your girlfriend.
That's right.
Beautiful. Until next week, rock on!